little seed's big bloom. Chapter 1. The Tale of the Tiny, Tiny Seed. Once upon a time, in a beautiful, bustling garden filled with big, big flowers of all shapes and colors, there lay a tiny, tiny seed. This seed was so small that it was nearly invisible. It nestled quietly in the dark, deep earth, gazing in awe and a bit of fear at the towering flowers around it. I'm so tiny, so very tiny. How can I ever become a big, big flower like the others? It would ponder. Its voice nothing more than a faint whisper carried away by the gentle breeze. Chapter 2. The kind, kind friends of the garden. The tiny, tiny seed's concerns didn't go unnoticed. The garden was home to many kind, kind friends who could hear the seed's faint whisper. First came the butterfly, with her delicate wings all aflutter, landing gently beside the tiny, tiny seed. Every big, big flower starts as a tiny, tiny seed, just like you, she assured. You might seem tiny now, but inside, you is a mighty flower waiting to bloom. Then, the wise old tree, whose roots ran deep and branches reached high into the sky, rustled its leaves, adding, with time, with patience, and with help from the warm, warm sun and the cool, cool rain, you'll grow. You'll become a big, big flower, reaching for the sky. Be brave, tiny seed, be brave. Chapter 3. The Soft, Soft Rain's Promise. Despite the encouraging words, the tiny, tiny seed was still uncertain, still full of fear. Sensing the seed's hesitation, the clouds above the garden sent down a soft, soft rain. Hello, tiny seed, the raindrops hummed gently as they seeped into the dark, deep earth. Let's begin your big journey. You're not alone. We're here to help you grow. The rain soaked the soil around the tiny, tiny seed, providing it with the nudge it needed to start its fascinating adventure. Chapter 4. The Emergence of the Green, Green Sprout. Days passed, and then, to the tiny, tiny seed's own surprise, a green, green sprout pushed through the dark, deep earth. I'm growing. I'm really growing. It cheered with a joy that was as bright as the warm, warm sun. The kind, kind garden friends all joined in its celebration. The butterfly danced around in looping circles. The wise old tree clapped its leaves, and the warm, warm sun shone even brighter, casting a golden spotlight on the emerging sprout. Chapter 5. The Journey of Growing. From tiny to big. Days turned into weeks, and the green, green sprout grew taller and taller, reaching for the sky. The tiny, tiny seed was on its way to becoming a flower, a big, big flower. But it was hard work, and sometimes the sprout felt very tired. Its stem would droop, and its leaves would sag. But every time it did, the cool, cool rain would come, whispering, "Rest, tiny seed, rest and grow," replenishing its strength. And the warm, warm sun would shine, saying, "Grow, tiny seed, grow, reach for the sky," giving it the courage to continue. Chapter 6. The Final Transformation, A Beautiful Bloom. One fine morning, after weeks of growing, the tiny, tiny seed, now a tall, tall sprout, burst into a beautiful, beautiful bloom. It had become a big, big flower, just as stunning and vibrant as the others around it. "I'm not tiny anymore," it said proudly. Its vibrant, vibrant petals unfurling for everyone to see. The kind, kind garden friends all cheered, their voices filled with joy and pride. "We knew you could do it." From that day forward, the tiny seed, now a big, big flower, stood tall and proud in the garden. It served as a reminder that no matter how tiny you start, with time, patience, and a little help from your friends, you can become something big, big, and beautiful. As the silver moon rose high and the stars twinkled brightly in the velvet sky, the big, big flower whispered a soft goodnight to the sleeping garden. "Good night, kind friends. Good night, moon. Good night, stars." And the little ones, listening to the tale, nestled deeper into their cozy, cozy beds, closed their eyes too, whispering back, "Good night, garden. Good night, moon. Good night, stars." Ready for sweet dreams and another day of growing and learning.